Veterans leave the service, they can apply for disability compensation for injuries sustained while in uniform. However, the application and appeals process is so complicated and cumbersome, many wait years before finally getting an answer. Wral investigates Cullen Browder's here now with how that process is impacting one local vet. Cullen?
Well, David, just think about this. According to the VA's own data, more than 30,000 veterans have died since 2009 waiting for a decision on their disability cases. It can take years. Sometimes we found more than a decade, and all the while, veterans are left fighting just to keep their lives from unraveling.
It's been pretty much a nightmare.
After serving 18 years in the Army,
2 tours in Afghanistan.
Andrew Stead is still fighting. Not only the constant struggle to get health care through the VA, Stead is now in a battle over disability compensation.
To jump out of airplanes is not a natural thing, and it's something to be very proud of. But now, having dealt with the issues that I've had from doing it.
Stead is recovering from recent neck surgery, along with constant back and leg pains. After feeling he was pushed out of the military over his weight, Stead applied for disability. Despite earlier diagnosis of traumatic brain injury and PTSD, the deciding VA doctor ruled differently.
Disregards it and says, oh, you may have had a couple brain injuries, but you don't have bad traumatic brain injury. That's why I got a 10% rating.
Stead is appealing that ruling, but the process is complicated and long. Data reviewed by Wral Investigate shows the average appeal takes 1,029 days, almost 3 years. At the end of the fiscal year, there were 81,000 appeals awaiting a decision from the Veterans Board.
You know, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. There were the best intentions when the system was designed.
Attorney David Russotto specializes in VA disability compensation appeals. The day we spoke with him, he received a decision on a case he's been working on since the 1990s.
With the manpower available and with the number of veterans in the system, the complexity of the disabilities, it is almost impossible for these claims to be resolved in a timely manner once they're denied.
Much like the healthcare issues that plagued the VA for years, the disability appeals process is slow and outdated. Paper appeals are the norm as the VA tries to catch up to technology.
It's just a system that's completely when you talk about billions of pieces of paper, and we're talking about where we are in the computer generation, it's just absurd. So the process has failed miserably.
They're aware that they need to speed it up, but we're not sure when it's going to get done. Well, in the meantime, I'm going to lose my house because, they're taking their sweet time.
For veterans like Stead, the wait has serious consequences. Unable to work during recovery, he, his wife, and his 2 children face foreclosure.
We've only been able to scrape by for 2.5 years.
Russotto says the process is so frustrating, it's too much for some veterans.
And as you're years into this, you begin to wonder, the veterans begin to wonder, well, does anybody really care about me?
I felt alone so much.
Their injuries are caused by their time in service. They're unable to work because of their time in service, and they're winding up homeless. That's why we have homeless veterans.
That pair of socks, you never know how great a pair of socks is until you've been wearing ones with holes in them,
Stead isn't ready to give up. He's still fighting for his family, his home, and for something as simple as a new pair of socks.
It's the hardest thing to ask for help when you've been the guy that other people come to help for, It's hard. It'd be nice just to be able to live again.
Now, the VA has 120 days to make an initial ruling on a disability claim, but you're talking about tens of thousands of cases. So many claims are just denied right off or partially granted just to meet that deadline. And as the VA makes headway to speed up the initial rulings, of course, it creates a paperwork logjam in that appeals process.
Well, Cullen, these cases are not only frustrating, they're just mind-boggling.
Absolutely.
But if a veteran wins the appeal, they're compensated for essentially lost wages, right?
Right. They do get some money, but of course there is a catch. The VA only provides back pay based on the date of the most recent appeal, not the date of the first appeal. Attorney David Russotto says that just starts a whole new legal battle to get veterans all of the money that they really deserve.
Well, maybe one day this will be taken care of. Cullen,
hopefully
thank you.
in our lifetime.
Yeah.
We'll see.